In an eat, wake, sleep cycle, the second portion of each portion of your day will be wake. When we talk about wake, we are talking about your playtime. Not everything you do in wake is playing, but we're not talking about wake time length, which includes eating. We already have a video all about the eat part of your eat, wake, sleep cycle. So we aren't talking about your overall wake time length. We're just talking about the wake part of the eat, wake, sleep cycle. Before we go any further, hello, my name's Valerie. I blog at babywisemom.com. I've been blogging since 2007. I have 4 children ranging in ages from 8 to 16 years old. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. In this video, I'm going to outline 5 things to know about wake time length. I will also share with you a bunch of ideas of things you can do during the wake portion of your day. The first thing I want to cover is that it is very important that you do not overstimulate your baby. If a baby gets too much stimulation, then your baby will not sleep. And this actually applies to toddlers. Even adults can get overstimulated. So it's always important to make sure your stimulation levels are good. Do not do too much for your baby. Not too much noise, not too much action, not too much visual. Make sure for your baby or child of any age, there's not too much overstimulation during this wake time window. Conversely, our second point is do not understimulate your child. This becomes more of a problem when you reach about 8-ish months old and older. Babies suddenly start needing more stimulation, and you've been so accustomed to protecting that stimulation level, but now they actually need more. They need to be physically stimulated and mentally stimulated so they're tired enough to take those naps. So you really have to watch your stimulation, both don't overstimulate but don't understimulate, and that is true for all ages. Although for younger babies younger than 7 months and younger, you don't really worry about understimulating, but once you hit 8 months old and older, that can be a concern. The third point is about toys. You need to make sure that the toys and activities your child has to do and play with are age appropriate. I remember when my third child was about 25 months old, she suddenly stopped playing well independently. And she'd been great forever, and I could not figure out why won't she play happily. She's so upset at playtime. And then I realized she needed more age-appropriate toys, and once I updated those toys for her, she went back to playing just very well independently. So you always want to make sure that what your child has available to play with is age-appropriate for your child. If your child has a hard time with playtime and just seems really discontent, that's one thing to check out. The fourth thing I want you to think about with your wake time is to be very intentional with your time. You want to do everything you do with a purpose and with intention. Now that doesn't mean you can never sit back and relax and kind of just have a lazy day or a chill out day. Those are fine. But for the most part, you want to do more than just like make it through the day. You don't want to just do what you can to survive. You want to thrive. You want to look back on these years and think, I have no regrets about that time. I do have a video all about that as well as a blog post. So be sure to check those out to get more information. The fifth thing I want to point out is how your time will be spent. The way you'll typically spend your time I've broken into 5 categories. 1 is different types of play. You'll have playtime during this wake time. 2 is hygiene. You'll have hygiene happening during this wake time. That includes diaper changes, baths, dressing, brushing teeth. Another element to your wake portion of your eat, wake, sleep cycle is some educational time. Educational time does not have to be intentional learning activities, although it can. Children learn so much just in everyday life. The fourth category is time spent working on goals. And that can be something as simple as you have a newborn who needs tummy time, and so tummy time is a goal that needs to happen and time spent on that goal, all the way up to your child is old enough to have piano lessons and is spending some time practicing the piano during that wake portion. And then the fifth category is on responsibility. That is doing chores, cleaning up after yourself, keeping your room tidy, things like that. Next, let's talk about some activity ideas that fall within these 5 categories. Our first category was play, and play isn't just as simple as, oh, we're going to play. There are intentional ways to play. So let's talk about some different types of play. One type is independent playtime. This is when your child plays independently in a room or a playpen alone, without other people there to entertain or to interact with your child. There are many benefits to independent play, and I talk about that as well as how to do it in my independent playtime post and video. So be sure to check those out for more information. Another type of play is structured play. Independent playtime is a structured playtime, but not all structured playtime is independent playtime. So you can have things like table time, where your child is playing at the table with the activities like Play-Doh, something at the table, your child is playing at the table, having table time. This is structured time. Structured time is essentially just time when you have decided where the activity is taking place and typically what the activity is. At the very least, you're focusing on the activity. So if you allow your child to choose and your child chooses Play-Doh, you stick with Play-Doh. You don't play with Play-Doh for 5 minutes and then, oh, actually I want to paint. And then you get out the paint for 10 minutes and then actually I'd rather draw. So you're sticking to this structured play, which has a lot of benefits to your child. Equally as important as a structured type of play is free play. Free play is free play. There's so many benefits to your child having free play every day. So work that kind of play in also. Another type of structured play is sibling playtime. And sibling playtime can be structured, that's also free. So you can have structure the time and place where your children play with each other, but it's free in that there's a lot of imagination and creativity that comes into play while playing with your sibling. Another type of structured play is blanket time, and that is similar to independent playtime in that your child is playing in a certain spot, but your child's only boundary is the blanket, and you can be present during blanket time in the same room. And this comes in super handy later when you're visiting someone who has a house that isn't baby-proofed and you need your child to stay in one spot, or you are at church or some other location where you need your baby to be able to sit and play where your baby's told to do so. The second category we talked about for playtime was hygiene. So you can have bath time, which can turn into a really fun playtime. You also spend time on hygiene with diaper changes, brushing teeth, changing out of pajamas or changing into pajamas. There's a lot of little hygiene things, maybe brushing out the hair, that you will do during your wake time. So you need to account for that into your time that you've planned out. We also talked about education as one of the categories. This can be structured learning time. This can be fun learning activities, again, spent at the table. It can be going on a walk. There's a lot to learn from going on a walk and seeing everything that there is to see when you go for a walk. This can also include reading books. Another one we talked about was goals. So one of your categories is goals. So this will really vary depending on your child's age, but what does your child need to work on? Like I said, this can be tummy time. This can be we're waking up from, we're not falling asleep because we're learning to crawl. So let's really focus in on having plenty of time during our wake time to practice crawling so that it's less appealing in the crib. And as your child gets older, these types of goals can expand. It can be you have a goal for teaching your child over time to learn to cook. So your 3-year-old is going to spend time with you making dinner today. So there are a lot of different ways to look at goals as you plan out your child's day. Our last category was responsibility. So there will be time spent cleaning up after yourself after playtime. So even as young as baby, have your baby help you clean up. And a baby developmentally literally cannot clean up at a young age, and like literally cannot put toys back where they go until a certain age. But even just having your baby present and just saying, oh, thank you for cleaning up. It's so good to clean up after we're done playing. Things like that, like working on cleaning up after yourself. And as they get older, adding in chores to their day. And I do have a lot of posts on chores, including chores by age, so you can get an idea of what things you can expect your child to do based on your child's age. Your child might also have a pet that needs to be taken care of. So think about things your child needs to be responsible for or learn how to be responsible for, and work that into the wake portion of your day. That wraps up our talk about the wake portion of an eat, wake, sleep cycle. Really, the wake part can be super easy. If you need more ideas of what to do with each age group, I have posts about the best toys for each age, so you can kind of look ahead and think, oh, I need some more developmentally appropriate toys. What should I get? So those can help you out. The most complex part of wake is finding wake time length. But so with this wake portion, we're really talking about what activities to do, which are very easy to fit in. Just make sure that you are aware of your ultimate goals so that you're able to fill your wake time now with things that get you to those goals down the road. I would love to hear what you love to do during wake time. So go ahead and share in the comments how old your child is and what you love to do at wake time at this age. And as always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.